Now on the manifesto is a very simple thing. Doc, you see, the NDC prioritizes the welfare of young people. And that is why for the first time in the history of this country, we've had a major political party in this country launch a manifesto just for the youth. And we did this on a very important day when we're celebrating International Youth Day. We put out our vision, our policies for young people in this country. Because to John Mahama, young people should be the priority of any government if we want to see the transformation we all yearn for. And Doc, for me, the key highlights that I would want to highlight within the limited time we have is the policy of no fee stress announced by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and captured in the Youth Manifesto, Christian the Pledge. You see, Doc?
Maybe you can only speak on that because...
Okay, let me just speak on that.
It's 10:30.
Okay, Doc. So, you know that there are a lot of young people who complete their WASI, they pass. Some get 6 A's, 7 A's, 8 A's, good aggregates. They get admissions, and they are not able to go to school.
Yeah.
Okay, because their parents cannot afford the admission fee. And you see, what people don't know that in the case of the first years, until you pay your fees, you are not a student. You are not recognized as a student. Your admission becomes void. So that entry point is very important. And President Mahama is saying that given the economic challenges Ghanaians are going through, given the high cost of tertiary education today, it is not justifiable that government will leave parents and their wards to their own fate. Okay? Because the time frame between when the admission is given to the student and when he or she is supposed to pay that money, lest they forfeit the admission, is usually very, very short. So President Mahama is saying that when we vote for him, effective 7 January 2025, no new entrants into a public tertiary institution, be it public university, technical university, college of education, nursing training, and so on, will pay academic fees, because his government will fully absorb the academic fees for all first-year students. Free university education for you, all first-year students in public tertiary institutions. And look, I have some data here which is scary. KNUST, if you check the basic statistics for their 56th congregation, 2023 academic year, 42,019 students were admitted. 42,019 students were admitted. Only 29,420 enrolled. So about 13,000 admitted they couldn't go to school. Yes, I know that a few of them might have chosen other schools, so may go there. But a chunk of them could not go because their parents could not afford. You come to UCC, it's the same thing. UCC 2023-2024 academic year, the WASI candidates, what they call awaiting, 13,388 applications, 8,261 admissions. Only 3,313 were able to enroll. So there is a serious problem, and that is why, if you look at Article 25, specifically 1C of the Constitution, the framers of the Constitution envision that once we are done with basic education in terms of access and affordability, and we move to SHS, and we are done with access and affordability, the next stage should be tertiary and other higher learning institutions. And they've said that we should do free tertiary education progressively. So the data supports it. There is a genuine need, even on social media.
What happens after year one?
What happens after year one is that year two, you will have the Student Loan Trust Fund Plus, which allows you to apply for a loan to support your fees. Because you see, after year one, you have become a student. Even when you owe school fees, you can negotiate and pay. But year one, if you don't pay, you will not be registered. You forfeit your admission. So the student loan will be there for them. But you know that with persons living with disabilities, they are going to have free tertiary education from year 1 to year 4 in all the tertiary institutions.
Yesterday, Sammy Gyamfi was here and he hinted that these were in your 2020 manifesto.
What the accurate thing is that what we captured in the manifesto was the 50% chain fare.
Yeah, he supported it with
a press release I issued, signed by Samuel Uluvuzu-Ampofo, our national chairman at the time, on the 2nd of December, because our policy group on education did some studies and sent us a proposal that instead of the 50%, we can do 100%. They did the statistics. John Mahama approved it. So after the launch of the manifesto, we announced a policy called Fanina and said that we're not going to do 50%, we're going to do 100%. So it is very much in line with our policy to make tertiary education progressively free, starting with the first years. And the continued students, for the time being, will have the Student Loan Trust Fund Plus to support. They can get loans to support. Right. And the PWDs, persons with disabilities, will have total free SHS. So, and as for free SHS, you know what JM said. We are abolishing double track. We are providing a dedicated source of funding. We are decentralizing the feeding. We are improving it to make it sustainable and better for our children.
Okay. Doc.
Yeah, Randy. So quick one. I think, sir, when you were in a lecture room and a lecturer is speaking, you should pay attention. You know, it's very, very important. It's the reason why we've produced so many university students, but they are very poor in working in the environment. Now, I spoke about central bank financing of government debt. If you remember, I built my point from the fact that there's already a precedence that in 2012, when the government then, John Dramani Mahama's government, exceeded, the deficit was about 11.6% of GDP. This is not Dr. Bannor saying it, those of you who are watching me. This is the 2013 World Bank report that says that the central bank financed the 11.6% of GDP deficit. Yeah.
So what's the point?
So the point I'm making is that if you take, let's even assume it is 15%, and the government today is being financed by the central bank, the point I'm making is that the precedence has already been set.
The difference, and I pointed out to you, that when that occurred, we didn't have that law passed by Parliament, which limits
that law was passed in 2016.
Yes, which limits the central bank. We didn't have that law. But now we have a law. It is because of that occurrence that we had a law.
So Randy.
So you can't have a law
Randy,
and in 2016 we had zero financing of central government.
No, but that was after this had occurred in 2012.
Yes, look,
you see. So Randy, so if what you are saying, let's accept that is the reality.
No, that's the fact.
Yes. So if government flouts, what is
the central bank and government?
Yeah. What is Parliament supposed to do?
No, it's not Parliament. It's criminal prosecution. A breach of the Bank of Ghana Act is a crime.
It's clear.
Section 30. That's why I came to make the point about monetary policy. And I started the case of the United States. I started the case of Germany, and I'm starting the case of England. That the core function of every central government, central bank, and in our case, our central bank, the Bank of Ghana, is to ensure economic stability. So as far as economic stability is threatened, and there's actually a publication that was published in 2022 by the Swiss University, saying that as far as economic stability is threatened, every central bank would intervene. This is me speaking economics.
Intervene illegally and criminally.
Is it Randy? For me, I am not a lawyer.
Doc, I don't have a problem.
Yes.
All I'm saying is that...
No, I understand your point.
Let's see, you had two laws.
Yes.
2 laws.
The fiscal responsibility.
You had the fiscal responsibility and the central government act.
Yes.
When COVID occurred, it was the finance ministry that went to Parliament and said that, look, we have an emergency.
Yeah.
We can't continue with this thing. Parliament set it aside. Parliament unanimously set it aside. If for any reason the central bank believed that it had to do things beyond what the law said, what should it have done?
No, I am not disputing that. But what I'm saying is, that is the law you are talking about. I am speaking about economics. You see, there are 2 different arguments here. I am speaking as a monetarist.
Interestingly, this is a central bank.
Yes.
That relies on the law.
I know.
Anything the central bank does.
But the central bank is a creature of law.
You see, Randy, you see,
and it has a governing law.
Yeah. You see, so that was the point I made. That was the point I made. Yeah. So that's why he was misquoting me. Then I came to the issue of the exchange rate regime, how it generates inflation. You see, that was the lecture I was providing to him. Then he said he had a master's or whatever. I don't know who taught him that. Yeah. You see, what I was saying is, once you have a pegged exchange rate regime and there is a pandemic, unless the anchor currency also suffers If not, your currency will still remain afloat.
In this case, it suffered.
No, the anchor currency did not have, the rate of depreciation was not like ours. You see? Because the anchor currency is the euro. So the depreciation was marginal. But our case, because we are practicing the floating exchange rate regime, which is hinged on demand and supply, the supply is now coming from your central bank.
Okay.
Which reserves has been depreciated. Okay. So automatically you are going to depleted, sorry. Right. So automatically you are going to have a free fall. Right. So the rate of depreciation will be different from the anchored currency.
Okay. You made a point.
Yeah, so in that terms, if people are pricing goods, yours is going to be more or less the quadruple, even if you are taking just the exchange rate side. Okay. Then you bring in the other aspect, which is now talking about the shipment cost. Okay. So that was the argument I was making. Right. So that's what I'm saying. It is important every student pays attention in class, so that you don't misquote your lecturer. Okay. Now, let me quickly touch on the things you spoke about.
And then, to lie on that. You've been exposed continuously, and you're here throwing your weight about. You lied about budget deficit. You lied about printing of money. You don't even understand laws you are quoting, and you're here bragging.
Sammy, out for laws, if you say I don't understand law, I'm not a lawyer. So I will.
Frank, we don't have time.
I will admit it.
So why does Bawumia compare Ghana
and transmission mechanism? I can lecture.
Then go and lecture Bawumia.
Now let me go on to
tell Bawumia not to compare.
Yes. Ghana
to Cote d'Ivoire. Go and lecture Bawumia.
These are people who told us that they were going to implement free progressive senior high school education.
They started or they told you?
I don't know whether they started or this. For me, maybe that was the time I left. So
he doesn't know a lot of things.
Now, and for that matter, they were going to pay 38 Ghana cedis a term.
It's a lie.
Right?
A lie.
I mean, I have it here.
You don't have anything. It's a lie. It's not 38 Ghana cedis. Don't come in. Don't lie again. You must know the one you are debating. Don't lie. Because we are exposed. It is not 38 cedis.
So, Randy, let me read my source to you. Sammy Gyamfi says I'm lying.
It's a lie.
So this is 16 July 2024.
Okay.
Mahama and NDC can't claim free SHS. They didn't start it. Manasseh Azuri
Okay.
is making this claim.
Yes.
And I go on to read, because since he says I'm lying, I'm reading it here, so that Manasseh is means Manasseh lied. Then we should take Manasseh.
So Manasseh is your source.
We know about that.
Manasseh, I have corrected him. If you like,
he
doesn't even know what he's talking about.
He promised 38 Ghana cedis.
It is not true.
Per term.
That was the first release. And Manasseh only divided that first release by the population of SHS students. You just go and pick a figure you don't understand. That Manasseh, even in conversations with me, I considered you got wrong.
The free progressive senior high school, they couldn't do it. How much more are they promising that they are going to do what they call first year?
Okay. So you don't believe they can?
Then the next part, Randy, please, you gave me enough time. Give me.
No, you use your time to discuss.
Randy, please.
No, I can't.
You gave Sammy enough time.
No.
Let me finish this last one. Sammy, Randy, let me finish this last one. You see, these are the same people. We sat in this country in 2008. They told us that they were going to implement one-time premium when Kufuor had already introduced NHIs. Only for them, Ghanaians, to vote them into power. And then they come to tell us that, oh, Ghanaians, we are sorry. The econometricians and the actuaries that we use to do this calculation, they did not understand what they did. And for that matter, we've now found better actuaries who have now come to tell us that the one-time premium is not feasible. So if these people with this track record now come to tell you that they are going to do another free thing, then it's up to the Ghanaians to look at it.
It's important information just in 30 seconds. GES issued this press release as approved fees for the 2016-2017 academic year. So this is the absorbed fees under progressive free SHS.
Which document are you reading?
This GES press release. Okay. And this is the table. Okay. So that they stop peddling this 38 cedis lie. So the management of Ghana Education Service wishes to inform parents, students and heads of schools of the approved fees of the 2016-2017 academic year for senior high schools. So progressively free, absorb fees, examination fees 10 cedis, entertainment fees 2 cedis, library fees 3 cedis, SRC dues 2 cedis, sports fees 5 cedis, culture fees 3 cedis, co-curricular activities 2 cedis, ICT 3 cedis, national science and maths quiz 5 cedis, science development 3 cedis, development levy 10 cedis, utility 6 cedis, subtotal 54 cedis. Stop lying. Do research before you come and sit on TV and you lie. This GS.
So that will be next. Our conversation with the Minerals Commission has been quite a hectic morning, but I hope we've been able to transit you through the economic theories.